Episode of Barely Out of Bounds. It's your boy Rico Daddy Slick here.
How did your crew not get out there? They're playing off!
On the green, we sway with a beer in hand every day. From the tee to the hole, we're just trying to keep control. We're barely out of bounds, drinking and golfing around. A toast to the fairway we raise, for the love of the game and the haze. For the love of the game and the haze.
I don't know if it's better than class. I don't know.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Barely Out of Bounds. It's about golf, but barely. I'm your boy, Fitness. And this is my deeply closeted brother, Zane. How are we doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm just still deeply closeted.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. And you know what? Everyone else will be doing well if you go down in the description. Check out Global Golf.
Global Golf.
You can get pretty much anything you want. Golf shoes, golf hats, golf shirts, anything you want. Just make sure you use the affiliate link down below. I don't know where Zane went. He just kind of left me in this promo. So we're going to go ahead and promote the merch. Obviously, also in the description, you can check out any Barely Out of Bounds merch. We have Barely Hockey merch. We also have Barely Football merch. All that wonderful stuff down in the description below. And so make sure you guys check that out. So, Zane.
Zach.
Golf this week.
Huh?
Big week in golf.
Big week in golf. Yep.
Big week in golf.
Bushnell just released a new rangefinder. Yep.
Very good. I also found I haven't double checked this, but Bushnell has actually pulled out of disc golf.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
What's up, Ballard Sports Media?
Oh, I haven't even looked at that, man.
What's up?
What's up?
So anyway, yeah, big week in golf. I mean, we got the Waste Management up on deck.
And that's probably the most beerly event, so it's good that we're here this week.
It's great that we're here this week, Zach. It's a pleasure and an honor.
As always, it is a pleasure and an honor to be talking golf.
That's
on
right.
Wednesday night.
Yep. Barely getting through it. So anyway, but yeah, it was an amazing week. This past week, we saw some amazing shots out there, out west. Huh?
At Pebble.
Saw some amazing shots out there. Really great tournament. Rory ended up taking home the cake. But there was a lot of guys in there that put up some great rounds. Wyndham Clark, I think, shot the course record, which was outstanding. Obviously it wasn't for the U.S. Open or anything, but just the mere fact that you set a course record in tournament in the PGA Tour is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously he wasn't able to sustain that level of scoring quite as long as Rory did, but there you go. So
I'll tell you what, someone asked me this week if Rory was going to take it down. It was probably Saturday. So I was like, oh, Rory's hot. Do you think he's going to be able to chase him down? I think it was Straka at the time.
Uh-huh.
You think he's going to be able to chase him down? And I said, well, it's not a major, so probably, yeah. And I was right. So,
Yep.
Zach Stradamus strikes again.
Yeah. Only we have no way of verifying that, bud. So.
Ask Georgia Club member
He's
Chad Edge.
like, ask anybody. Ask anybody.
no,
It happened. It happened.
Ask Georgia Club member Chad Edge if that happened.
Well, get him on the program. Get him in
I
the
would
comments.
love to. He's a funny guy. And
get him on the comments.
But he's married and has like 2 kids, so I don't know. He's a busy guy too. So anyway, got a lot to talk about this week. But before we get into any of that, we're going to go ahead and talk about what we're drinking tonight. Zane, what do you have?
Well, as a deeply closeted man, I've got the Pontoon Brewing Cream of the Hop. Delicious. Pontoon Brewing is a local brew. It's down in just southwest of Roswell, kind of down in the Sandy Springs area. It's really, really good. Great atmosphere, great vibe there. I really like a lot of their beers. This is the one that I got. I think I had this 2 weeks ago. Not last week, but I think it was 2 weeks ago. So this is the last one, so I've got to make another trip down there and get a different beer for next time. So really excited about that. Zach, what about you? What's on deck?
So I'm drinking out of a fun glass tonight.
That is a fun glass.
It's a Georgia Renaissance Festival glass.
Nice.
Didn't go. I won it at a disc golf thing. But inside, I am drinking. Is it the Airbnb or is it Black and Blue?
Huh?
The mead.
He's drinking mead.
I'm drinking mead.
It's the blueberry.
Yeah,
is it blackberry?
Is it Black and Blue? That's what it is,
Yes.
right? The Airbnb is a sparkling one.
Yes.
He's not a real beerly host. He's drinking mead. He's drinking mead. He's not a real beerly host.
You know what? We can compare ABVs if you want.
He's a
I
fraud.
don't think you want that smoke.
I don't think it's about ABVs, bud.
It is about
the
ABVs.
show is beerly.
It's about
You're
ABVs,
beerly
baby.
Counting right now. That's what
Birdies and ABVs. That's what I'm about when I'm on the Beerly Out of Bounds podcast.
Wayne
So, what did you want to talk about first? And we got so much news to cover.
We really do. I think we cover the most recent stuff last. So, like, I want to cover obviously the TGL stuff last. I think that's the most thing because that's not the biggest news story. I don't think.
I think
because we've been covering that.
Yeah. And we covered it pretty thoroughly, but just another
addition
to that.
It's pretty, yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. Pretty bad. I had high hopes for the longest of times, but it just doesn't look like they're willing to adapt. So we'll talk about that last. Let's talk about some of the other stuff going on first. Namely, like I want to obviously talk about waste management, the new policy, what's going into place this year as far as that, and then probably talk a little bit about this past tournament. Show some shots. Show one of the most amazing shots that I've ever seen in golf.
Oh, I know which one you're
history.
talking about.
I mean, it was just unreal.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to be covering Charlie Hoffman's heated letter to the PGA Tour membership.
And then Rory's response.
And then Rory's response to it. And then we'll also go over, in the end on the fast time, we're going to cover the LPGA taking a stand on slow play. Does that need to be a thing that the PGA Tour enforces or goes into? And then obviously, lastly, I think, well, let's just go ahead and get it out of the way first because it is, it's always sad when somebody loses a loved one. Me and Zach have lost both of our grandmothers. And so, we really feel for Tiger and his family. Yeah. I know we make a lot of jokes at Tiger's expense a lot, but he did have a Tiger mom. Sorry, I had to make the joke, but no joke. He obviously his mom passed away. I think last night, right? Or was it the night?
It was either the last night or the night before.
Anyway, but our hearts go out to him. Prayers go out to him. We've all lost loved ones. We all know how it feels. Especially if there's someone as close to him as Kaltita Woods was, which she very much was.
Mm-hmm.
So if I implore anybody out there, if they want a good thing to watch any of specifically, there was one Tiger documentary that came out whenever me and Zach were young. That one's, I think it was called Tiger. And that was a really good look into that whole family life, what Tiger went through. They had to take a second mortgage out for him to play on the AJGA tour. So, they sacrificed a lot for Tiger. Anyway, so yeah. And also, obviously, the extended family, Charlie Woods, that's his grandmother. Obviously, he's hurting right now.
Mhm.
Heart goes out to him because that's hard for a kid to go through. Luckily, me and Zach, whenever our grandmothers passed away, we were, in or out of college, and so it's always harder if you're younger, whenever that happens. Anyway, Zach, do you want to say anything to that?
Not really. I think you said it well.
Okay.
Obviously, our hearts go out to the whole Woods family.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And there was a touching tribute at TGL, and then there was also a touching tribute that Scott Van Pelt did on ESPN. So, so if you have a time to look at that, we aren't really going to show that just because we obviously don't want to get the copyright strike. For that.
And Disney is a little litigious. So
they are a little litigious. We don't want to do that unless we're really covering. But we have nothing really to add to that.
Yeah.
If we did show it, we'd just be showing their footage.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. Moving on. So let's talk a little bit about the Live news. I think that's probably the biggest thing of the day. Live starting out. They're doing their season opener this week. Really excited. I'm going to watch it through the Live app. Very excited to see those guys go out there and play. Ollie, I know a guy in it, which is kind of cool, and not just obviously the guys as well, but Ollie Schneider-Jans, he's playing in it. He's a member out at the club. Just played with his brother the other day, and I'm excited to see what Ollie can do. He won out in India, which is huge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then Phil, obviously that was a big deal because Bryson, that was the first major champion that had played in that event ever, or in an event in India, I think ever. And so that was exciting. And then on top of that, the fact that Bryson went out there and played in it. The fact that Ollie played in it and then was tapped by Phil Mickelson for the High Flyers to go and play. So he's actually going to go play alongside his fellow Georgia Tech guy, Andy Ogletree. So him and Andy Ogletree are both going to be playing on the High Flyers, which is kind of cool. So excited for them, and excited for what they're going through. So anyway, by the way, what were you going to say?
I said, yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. By the way, so a little insider baseball. The Live, like the way they treat their players, unreal.
Really?
Yeah, unreal. So they're staying in the Four Seasons. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, in Saudi Arabia. And it's not in Jeddah. This tournament isn't in Jeddah. It starts with an R.
Rajik or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And so they're playing there. But from what Mike has told me off podcast is that it's literally like it's so westernized. Like they have Hardee's, they got McDonald's. They literally have everything you could ever want there, which is pretty cool. And then on top of that, he's staying at the Four Seasons. And I've never gotten the privilege to stay in a Four Seasons hotel. However, I've heard it's amazing. And Zach's checking his phone. Zach's checked out.
No, I just saw big news that I didn't see before.
And that is?
The USGA has officially opened up pathways for Live golfers to qualify directly for the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I sent that to you.
I didn't see that until just now.
Yeah, I sent that to you. That's what I was gonna. That's what we were gonna cover in that. In this whole thing.
Wow, that's kind of out of nowhere it came to me.
Yeah. Well, without further ado, why don't we just jump into that?
Makes sense.
So let's talk a little bit about that. And this goes into the whole thing with, we can even bring the Tom McKibben stuff into this because it came out, finally journalists were able to get a hold of him, find out what kind of happened behind the scenes with him and Rory. and kind of got his side of the story on that whole thing. Obviously, we heard how butthurt Rory was that his buddy went to live instead of after he earned his PGA Tour card.
Yeah.
This is not a guy who wasn't able to make it.
Yeah.
He made it and then just decided, hey, I'm going to go over to live. We'll get into that reasoning for a second, but this goes into the whole. I think the hold that they've had for so long is just crumbling down. Obviously, that started with John Rahm, but I think even more so, it's just crumbling down now. Zach,
I agree. Yeah, I mean, so let's go ahead and get into his response.
Why not?
Zane, do you have it?
I do. So I'm just going to read it. Do you want me to pull it up on screen, or do you want just me to read it?
Yeah, you can just read it.
All right. So it says, this is from Nuclear Golf, tweeted it out. Tom McKibben speaks on why he made the decision to go to live after earning his PGA Tour card. Quote, the opportunity to play with these guys out here more often and more consistently was definitely a huge factor. I'm not in those majors anyway at the moment, so that really didn't bother me too much. The opportunity to learn from some of the best players in the world week in and week out is something that appealed very nicely to me. I liked the whole concept of everything. End quote. And it says McKibben grew up playing the same club as Rory and went against his advice to make the move. So bottom line is Liv must have sold this as, and it is a great selling point. You're going to have, because you're on a team, you're going to be spending a lot of time with that team. And especially if there's a veteran on that team, you're going to learn a lot from them.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they can do that and also play in those international events, the international series, that's a big factor. And if you've looked at some of the purses on those international series events, they're way better than Korn Ferry events.
Yeah.
So if McKibben, say, didn't play well out here on the PGA Tour and got conditional status, say he wasn't in the top 100, and he got conditional status for Korn Ferry events, how would that help him? I mean, he'd play in less events anyway.
Well, it's that, and you have to think about it in the way that the direction the PGA Tour is moving to where they have these protected events for the top whatever players in the world. It like you said, and like we've said multiple times, even in coverage, it's hard to build a brand if you're a new guy on the scene on the PGA Tour, unless you go out and win. But winning's hard.
Yeah, winning is hard.
And most guys don't do it their first year.
Sure. Well, and winning is going to get a lot more difficult, seeing as you're going to be less likely to make events because they're cutting field size. They're cutting tour cards down to 100 from 125, which is just. And they're also cutting pre-qualifiers. So guys like me and you, if we get good enough, you're SOL. You're shit out of luck. And that is not. You
just got to pull Michael Block and come top 10 on the PGA Championship or something.
That's kind of what you need to do, or make it into a major.
Yeah, qualify for the U.S. Open against literal PGA Tour professionals. Because those guys are playing in those qualifiers.
Pretty much. So
you have to beat PGA Tour guys and hopefully make a U.S. Open.
It's a lot less. I mean, you're going to see a lot less Cinderella stories from this.
Yeah,
you really will.
Well, and so that's what I'm talking about. It's smart for a guy that's just breaking in. It's really hard, number one, to make a living. But number two, to grow your brand, to grow a fan base around you. Because, let's be honest, he could be in the final group on Sunday and not get any TV time.
That's exactly right.
And
that's exactly right. And you'll get TV time on Live.
Well, someone else broke it down. We reviewed it on the show.
Sure.
But we talked about it last week, how are people in the final group on Sunday not getting TV time for 30 seconds? It doesn't make any sense. You're showing them tap. The only footage you see is them tapping in on 18 to finish 2 shots back.
And the guy made the point to say that they could have shown everybody. Like the broadcast did. Sometimes the broadcast ends before those first guys finish, or really it starts and then they're finishing the last hole. Like sometimes that happens. This was not the case for that tournament.
Yeah.
So
they had the very first tee shot and they had the very last putt. So they had the ability to show everybody.
No, they didn't have the first tee shot.
They showed shots from the first group out and the final shot of the last group in.
They were able to show that, yes.
Yeah. So they could have shown everybody.
Yep.
And they could have shown people that were pushing the lead, but they didn't.
That's exactly right.
They showed Tom Kim shooting 7 over par.
And if you watched Live, that is one of the things that they have going for them is it's just way more golf, way more action. It happened like you don't see a lot of waiting over putts, reading putts, stuff like that. You're seeing shots.
Yeah, and so that's when you watch Live coverage, one of the great things about them being shotgun, number one, the broadcast is shorter. That's number one. But number two, you're seeing shot after shot after shot. It's constant action. You're constantly getting what you tune into a golf broadcast for. I don't tune into a golf broadcast to listen to Zach Johnson talk for 5 minutes about.
I was about to say that. That is exactly what I was.
I don't tune into a golf broadcast for that. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't care what Zach Johnson. I don't care what Zach Johnson has to say. Yeah. I'm losing my mind. I don't care what Zach Johnson has to say about anything.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Especially 100%. Because he's a crybaby about criticism of his Ryder Cup captaincy. Consistently. He's still whining about it. Like, why is everyone being so mean to me? And, well, it's because you got skunked in the Ryder Cup almost.
Because you suck, dude.
you almost got eliminated before day 4. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
With the U.S. team, that's crazy.
He's a deeply closeted winner is what he is. That's what he is. He's a deeply closeted winner.
Hey, you guys remember 12 years ago when Zach Johnson did something impressive?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
But that was 12 years ago. I don't.
That was back when I liked him. That's back when I liked him. Before
he joined the inner circle.
Yeah. The evil circle.
The Illuminati, you know?
Ha. That's hilarious. So anyway, so that happened with McKibben. Then, sorry. Excuse me.
It's okay.
Then you obviously have Zach's news about them allowing now people. They're going to have one spot in the top 3 in live points will be granted a invitation to play in the U.S. Open. So that's huge right there. And that's only going to grow, if live becomes one of those places where the best players play or a lot of the really best players play, this will be something that grows.
I agree. And I think the U.S. Open is a tough place to grow it from. I don't know if what I just said makes sense. But like the U.S. Open, there's ways for guys to qualify outside. Sure. I understand that it's hard, but there's ways to qualify outside. So like, I look at this as like, I hope this isn't what it is, but I look at this and I'm like, well, most of the guys that are going to be in the top 3 live points are going to be exempt anyways.
Sure.
So I hope this isn't like paying lip service to something without making a meaningful change. Because, like, let's say
I don't think so. I mean, that's a big deal. Letting one out of
top 3. It is. But imagine if the top 3 in live points, by the time this comes into being a thing, is John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau.
It won't be.
Let's just say
it won't.
Let's just say I don't think this is going to be the case. But let's just say it's Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm, and Dustin Johnson. Then no one gets in from live outside.
It won't be. Guys. It won't be. I'm just letting you know it won't be.
I don't think it will be either. But I'm thinking maybe that's what they were thinking when they put this out.
No, I highly doubt it. I think they were just trying to find a way that makes it like I think it's like putting your toes into a pool to figure out what the temperature is. I think that's what they were doing with something like this. They were like, what can we do that just slowly eases us into this thing? And that was, hey, why don't we just give one exemption to one out of the top 3 in live points? I think that's what it was. I think it has less to do with, because if you look at the last 3 seasons of live, I think out of those top 3 in live points, I don't think they've ever had all 3 be major champion exemptions.
I don't think they have either. But
So,
that was one thing. And then
sure.
kind of this is going back a little bit, but don't you think it's interesting how like every 3 or 4 years you'll have some no-name guy that qualified for the US Open through local qualifying that no one's ever heard of. Like he'll bust onto the scene and like be like in the lead through 2 days or top 5 through 2 days.
Sure.
And like how that's a big storyline. And then the PGA Tour is like, no more Monday qualifying.
Yeah. Yep.
I just think that's great, dude. That's
It's
so
not.
awesome.
Yeah, nothing says growing the game like shrinking it.
Yeah.
Yep. Nothing says growing the game like shrinking it. So
It's just so funny. It's so funny because I think it actively works against, like they're talking about all this like legacy stuff and blah 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 blah, and it's like what it sounds like is in group out group.
Oh, 100%.
Like the PGA Tour is about legacy. No, the PGA Tour is about like what are the guys that like we can put on a pedestal and just keep them there.
Yes, that is exactly what they. And I think that's the opposite of what they need to be doing.
I agree.
I think the reason you got a Tiger Woods is because Tiger Woods is so damn good at golf.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
And I think you show the best players playing right now. And I think that those players, because I think you screw up the incentives if you don't do that, right?
Yeah.
Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas, if they get comfortable, they don't have the drive to be the best that they can be.
Yeah.
That's not to say that they won't have some drive. Those guys are high performers at any level. But you screw up the incentives.
Well, yeah, and they've also screwed up the incentive with like the player impact thing.
100%.
Is because like, okay, well, the player impact thing, well, no one can move up that list unless you show them play golf. And if you're only showing the guys on that list play golf, then it's just gonna keep going to those same guys.
And here's the crazy part about that. I have a theory about the PIP program. I think it was a way to funnel money to Tiger Woods from the tour.
It might have been.
No, I 100% believe that. For his loyalty in not leaving for live and all that jazz.
That's a theory.
I think it's a very strong
golf
theory. Hey, you stop it. But anyway, so that's what I think. I think that's very likely that it was just a way to fund it. Because here's the thing, the way they measure it, how is Tiger not going to be on top every time?
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
To not have him on top every time.
Yeah.
And sure enough, Zach, what happened? Every time. Every time.
He doesn't
not
even have to
some
play
of the
events.
time.
He doesn't even have to play events.
He doesn't even have to play events.
He just exists.
Just be.
Tiger exists, gets paid.
And nobody's saying he didn't earn it. Obviously, he's the one that really skyrocketed these the pay increases and stuff like that. So no one's saying he doesn't deserve the money. What we're saying is like that's not merit. That's not merit.
Yeah, with the way it's structured and the way that they cover golf on the PGA Tour, there's no way for anyone to break in.
Correct.
It's like a list of about 20 guys that are just always going to be there.
Yeah.
Or if it does change, it's going to be because one of those guys either gets canceled or like their play just completely falls off a cliff. Like if Tony Finau starts playing horrible golf, I don't think he will. But if he just starts playing horrible golf, he might fall off that list. But I don't think there's any way Rory falls off that list.
Yeah.
He's too big of a name in the sport.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. So anyway, what did you think about Good acquiring an ownership stake? Oh, let's not get into TGL yet.
There's so much TGL to cover, dude.
There's so much TGL to cover. We'll get into it. One thing I did want to ask you though is, let's talk about the PGA Tour a little bit. With obviously the Genesis Invitationals coming up as well.
Mhm.
What are your? I mean, I know we've covered this extensively, but have you seen some of these guys getting the exemptions?
No, I have not.
Jordan Spieth, Justin Rose, Ricky Fowler, Gary Woodland.
Wait, is this just TGL exemption? Like because they play on TGL, they can get it?
No, I mean it's obviously just because Tiger likes them.
Well, yeah, but Tiger likes them because they're on TGL? Is the question.
No, I don't think that has anything to
Wait,
do with it.
which came first? Did Tiger like them first, or did they join?
Tiger
TGL
liked them first. Tiger liked them first. Yeah,
It's the Tiger's Buddies Invitational.
yeah.
Does he have a personal driver for this event? Because I think he should.
Yeah, I think you should too.
I don't think he should be allowed to drive anymore.
I don't think you should be driving either. But anyway, they did have obviously it's impressive what Rory did this past week.
It's a good thing it wasn't a major.
But it was Zach, relax, dog.
Dude, he's never winning another major.
Zach will never fail to find a time to torch Rory McIlroy.
I never will.
Never fail.
Oh my god!
Never fail to.
Did we talk about his? We didn't even talk about.
No, not yet. Not yet.
Oh my god!
Let me just say this real quick.
One
last PGA Tour news was Rory McIlroy's obviously win at Pebble Beach. This is a good thing for golf. It saw a ratings boost. An average of 3.3 million viewers during Sunday's final round were per at Click Clack, which I'm guessing is a tracker. So they saw that 3.3 million viewers viewed on average on Sunday's final round, which is huge. I mean, that's big. So
yeah, I think people want to watch competitive golf. You had a lot of guys going low all weekend.
Sure.
And of course, if Rory's at the top of that list, he's going to pull viewers. What did he end up winning by?
What did Rory end up winning by?
Yeah.
Let's see. Thought it was quite a few. He put up some low numbers.
He won by 2 over Shane Lowry.
Yeah, there you go.
And then 3 over
two's a good lead. Two's
no. I'm not saying I'm not trashing him or anything. Not right now, currently.
Not currently.
But yeah, he ended up winning by 2 over Shane Lowry, and Justin Rose was in the mix as well. So it was the European Ryder Cup team up there. Shout out to those guys.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it was competitive golf. It was close, and low numbers were shot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at a premier venue like Pebble Beach.
Yep.
People want to watch people play the best courses in the world and play them really well.
Well, and he had some. Did you see some of the lines he was taking?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just nuking the ball.
Yeah.
Just nuking it.
By the way, have you hit the new TaylorMade?
The QI35?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think about it?
I thought it was pretty hot. I thought it was very hot. It looks way better than the QI10. Like just
which colorway?
The aesthetic of the QI35 over both the Stealth and the QI10 is noticeable.
Which colorway?
Just the graphite black kind of look.
Oh, Tommy has the gray one, and I didn't like that look at all.
It's just the carbon kind of dark.
The black one looks sick because we have both.
I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you the difference.
There's a black one that looks awesome, and the gray one, which I think doesn't look as good.
Sure.
I don't think it looks terrible, but it doesn't look as good to me. I've always been a critic of the carbon face driver. I don't really like the way it feels. And for whatever reason, I can't hit it very good. So I don't know. I'm still plowing away with my Arrow Jet from Cobra from 3 years ago, but I still hit that. I still hit nukes with that thing, but I can't hit a TaylorMade driver.
Gotcha.
Maybe it's because it's not spec to me. I don't know.
Maybe.
Because the Arrow Jet is spec to me.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Spec to Tommy, who's
Anyway, so and then one last thing about the PGA Tour event out there at Pebble. This was one of the best shots I've ever seen in my life. Let me share my screen. I mean, this was
talking about
just
the pitch
Cam
shot.
Davis.
Yeah.
Davis. This
This
is
is
the
pretty
best
good.
shot. This is the best shot you've ever seen in your life. That's off tree root.
Oh, hello. Oh, come on now. You're kidding. Shot of the day.
I will say. I don't know. I've seen some pretty cool shots.
No, you have not.
I've
Look
seen
at that
cool
ball.
shots. I saw
Look
the ball.
At the ball.
I saw the ball.
Zach, you're high. Zach
I've
will
seen
never,
a lot of good shots, dude.
Zach will never say he's impressed by anything.
That's not true
Never.
at all. That's
He'll
not
never
true at all.
say it.
You think
He'll
I'm
never
not
just
impressed
admit
by that? Of course I'm impressed by that. I just don't know
But
if
I've
it's the best
seen
shot I've ever
better.
seen.
But I've seen better.
I just said I don't know if it's the best shot I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of really good shots. Zane,
That's
I play with you. Okay,
that's
I've
the-
seen some great shots.
I know you have. Yeah. But it's
Never in tournament because I don't play with him in tournaments. But and that's the only reason. Is because I don't
Yeah.
play with him.
yeah, I don't hit 100. I don't know. I haven't hit a ton of amazing shots in tournaments. Besides, whenever I
I've
was
hit
a
a lot of-
junior, I did. Whenever I was a junior, I did hit some amazing shots in
That's
tournaments.
because you were going for everything.
That's exactly right, baby. And you're gonna have those times. where
I
they're all-
tell you what, one of the shots I hit in my PAT was arguably better than that. You could make an argument.
No, you couldn't.
Situationally, you could
No.
make an argument.
No shot.
Yeah.
Zach's hot. Zach's also add
was-
add
No.
high
No,
to
no,
the
no,
list.
you don't understand, dude.
Add high to the list.
Also, I did hit a 260-yard 3 hybrid yesterday or the other day
Oh yeah.
on Sunday. I absolutely nuked a 3 hybrid. Shout out to Ping on Zane's hat. They make the best hybrids in the game, and I'm not even afraid to say that. Their hybrids are so pure, dude.
They're not.
They're
not the
so
best.
good.
They're not the best.
They are. Just period, exclamation point. They're the best hybrids in the
They're
game.
not.
Every Ping hybrid I've had has been the best hybrid I've had.
You haven't hit a lot of hybrids.
I've hit a lot of hybrids, dude.
You're just wrong though.
Okay, what's a better hybrid?
Titleist. 100%.
Dude, you're high. You're high
Titleist?
as hell.
Oh my god, the Titleist
hybrids
hybrids.
are mid.
Mid.
They're not mid. They're not
Get
mid. Alley
out
hybrids are mid.
Now, dude, this is how I
Alex-
know Zach's full of trash.
Titleist hybrids are fine. They're not as good as Ping hybrids.
Zach's full of trash.
No
That's
one makes a hybrid like Ping. It's the best thing they make is a hybrid.
that is laughable.
The Ping makes the best hybrid. That's the thing that they're the best at.
No, that's not the thing they're the best at.
What's the thing they're the best at?
The thing they're the best at is making good cast clubs. What are you doing?
They make the best hybrid.
Hey, Shadow.
And I
What are
wish
you
you
doing?
to know more on it. I'm correct on this.
You're not right.
Dude, hit a Ping hybrid for once in your life, and you're going to be like, wow, I didn't know that Ping had that kind of motion, is what you're going to say.
I've hit the Ping hybrid, Zach. I fit for them. What are you
They're
talking
so
about?
good, dude. They're the best hybrids in golf, dude. I love Ping hybrids.
They're not the best.
You guys think I'm glazing Ping because I'm like involved with them or whatever. I've never been with Ping.
Zach always glazes the people
I've
he's
never
involved
been with Ping ever. I've had 2 Ping hybrids. They're both the best hybrid I've ever owned.
He's a deeply closeted
I
Ping rat.
had a 20-degree Ping Anzer hybrid, and then now I think it's a 20-degree Ping G. I can't even remember what the club is. It's better than the Anzer. That's all I'll say. It's better than the Anzer. I
That
don't know
Anzer was freaking awesome.
that Anzer hybrid, that 20-degree, dude, it was so nice.
Yeah, that answer was
And
awesome.
which is why I went back when I bought another hybrid. I went back to Ping because that answer was so nice. And this one's better, dude.
Which one is it? Which one did you get?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Not a real golf fan. Not a real Ping fan. They can't even
I'm
remember
not
the
a
model.
fan, dude. I'm
Can't
not
even remember the model of his
Of
golf
course I
club.
don't remember the model.
Can't even remember the model of his golf club. Get out of town.
I bought it used, dude. I'm poor. I don't get.
Get out
I'm
of
not on a
town.
staff deal like some people.
Yeah. By the way, the Mizunos I got are sick.
Zane, what do you think about me moving to all oversized grips as opposed to just irons?
Don't become Bryson. Don't become.
It's not
Bryson.
jumbo. It's oversized. There's a difference.
That's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It literally is. Are you Zach? Oh
It's
my
not the
god!
same. I've had
Look it
first off,
up. No. Look it up. They're the same thing. It's the same thickness.
I've held a jumbo and I've held an oversized, and the jumbo is bigger.
No, it's not. It's just the size of the grip is different. It's the different model. But oversized literally means the same as jumbo.
Well, I've had the oversized in the irons all like last year when I was absolutely lighting up tournaments
You're wrong.
and
You're wrong.
winning a lot of money. I had the oversized in irons. I'm thinking about switching it to everything because I hit the iron so good.
You're just high. I think you're high tonight.
I'm just.
Did you have some edibles?
I wish, dude.
I've got some. Do you want some?
Yeah. Can you drive over here in the middle of the podcast? I'll
Yeah.
keep the entertainment going.
See ya.
I'll keep the entertainment going. The whole
See ya.
time.
Yeah. Anyway, what are you doing, dog? This dog is jumping.
Say, what's the best thing Mizuno makes?
Best thing Mizuno makes is irons,
Yeah, I would.
without a doubt. Hands down.
It's the same thing.
irons.
Strixon also. Best thing
Yeah.
to make is iron.
We actually were on I was actually on a call yesterday. It was about their product, and they were just comparing the way Strixon makes theirs, forges theirs with Mizuno's. They make it almost exactly the same way,
Yeah,
from what I
Well-
saw.
I'm really happy with the Strixon irons I have. I would love to get a staff deal. It'd be hard for me to get both those irons. It would be like I might shed a tear. It's like they're so good, dude.
Yeah. Well, so let's take a look at the TGL. I think it's about time for that.
About time for TGL news. Bum, bum, bum,
Stop
bum,
it.
bum, bum. So
Yeah, let's talk about TGL. So Zach,
Zane.
what should we talk about with TGL first?
Let's go ahead and talk about the good thing.
Yeah, that's a good one to start.
Because
on.
I thought this was interesting. It's interesting for a couple different reasons.
Take it away.
So they acquired a stake in the LA Golf Club. They acquired a stake in the LA Golf Club, and I thought the timing was interesting, and I also thought that the fact that they're getting involved with the LA Golf Club, but they're not on the creator team for the PGA Tour was weird.
Say that again.
So they're getting involved with the LA Golf Club.
Yes.
Okay. The timing of it's very interesting considering this is about almost exactly a week after the Rick Shields announcement that he was partnering with Liv as a creator and their exclusion from that creator list with the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
I thought it was very interesting that they decided to acquire a stake in the TGL team so that they could partner with those guys for access. So basically get to film videos with those guys, all that stuff. They're not part of the creator team of the PGA Tour, and it comes about a week after Rick Shields announces his partnership with Liv. I thought the timing was interesting because it's like Rick Shields signs with Liv, which is big news. He's the biggest creator in golf YouTube. Big news. Rick Shields signing to that. And the fact that he's got two channels that are very popular is a big deal. Good. Not being on the creator team for the PGA Tour, I thought was a big miss by the PGA Tour when it happened. I know I brought that up at the time. I think I even mentioned it last week when we were talking about Rick Shields. The fact that You get Bob Does Sports and the Bryan Bros, and that's pretty much it. Paige Spiranac, who is Paige Spiranac, but is a smaller creator than all three of those, or all four of those if you count Rick Shields in that. But then they do partner with TGL and LA Golf. I thought that was interesting. And the reason I find that interesting is it looks like, to me, as an outsider looking in, to me, it looks like either they were worried about partnering with the PGA Tour, because I refuse to believe that the PGA Tour didn't contact them. I refuse to believe that.
Why do you refuse to believe that?
Because they're much bigger than anyone else they have. They're bigger than Bob Does Sports. They're bigger than the Bryan Bros. They've collabed with both. So I refuse to believe that the PGA Tour didn't at least reach out. Those conversations might not have gone well, but I refuse to believe that they didn't reach out.
So you think with the news of Rick Shields going to live, you think that's what made them reach out to Good and say, hey, we want to get. Here's the other thing. Do you think they purchased the stake, or do you think that they were given it?
I want to look at the wording of the tweet, because this was Nuclear Golf, right?
Sure.
I think they've acquired.
Acquired doesn't mean bought.
Yes.
Of LA Golf Club, right?
LA Golf Club, yeah. I'm struggling to find the tweet. There it is. Good has acquired an ownership stake in TGL's Los Angeles Golf Club, with the deal said to bring new content and collaboration opportunities.
There you go. It says about their investment, which makes me think that they
put at least a little money in.
They had to buy it. So this wasn't just a given thing. This was they had to buy it. So it's not like Live, in which they just gave the teams or a portion of the teams to the players.
Uh-huh.
This is where they definitely had to put money up for it.
I think that they decided to do that over being on the PGA Tour creator team or whatever.
Sure.
There's also another thing I want to talk about, since we're talking about YouTube golf, in a second. I think that they chose to go this route as opposed to partnering with the PGA Tour because of their closeness to several Live Golf athletes.
Maybe.
And I think that they chose to acquire it now because I think and I believe the announcement was timed to be about a week after the Rick Shields announcement.
Okay.
Because these guys know each other. These guys all know each other. I don't think they communicate like super closely.
Sure.
But I can't believe, it's hard for me to believe that no one knew the Rick announcement was coming in the YouTube golf space.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I think that it was timed to be about a week after Rick, because everyone's talking about the acquisition that Liv had made with signing the biggest YouTuber in golf.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get these guys partnering with TGL. And I think that they view this as a safer investment, or even if it's obviously a safer investment in terms of money. I think it's a safer investment in terms of time.
Sure.
For their channel, because Good, I don't know if partnering with the PGA Tour makes much sense for Good. And there is a distinction, despite what some winners on the PGA Tour would have you believe. I'm not going to name names. There is a absolute distinction between the TGL and the PGA Tour.
Okay.
So I think that's basically my thoughts on it.
Well, I'm glad you said your thoughts because I don't give two rats' asses about this. So,
Okay.
I am
Very
a
good.
deeply closeted YouTube golf lover. That's what I am. Very deeply closeted. I'm so deeply closeted, in fact, one might say I don't like it at all. So anyway, that's how much I care about it. I just
Zane,
thought
you're such a hater, dude.
I don't like it.
Why?
Because I don't watch it, Zach.
Maybe you should, dude. We'll run a golf podcast. It'd be good to be in the know, you know?
That's why we're doing it, buddy. That's why we're covering it. That's why
Zane's
we're
like,
here.
I just come to you every week and you tell me all this stuff.
That's exactly right. Because I'm not gonna pay attention to any of this crap.
Okay, so
Just
the other
not.
thing I wanted to talk about in the YouTube golf space, just before we get off this topic, because we're going to start talking about TGL more broadly.
Hurry it up, bud.
So I don't know. Did you see Paige Spearneck talk about slow play last week on
I
Twitter?
saw her little video. Yeah, I failed to pay very much attention to it because it's like
Pay attention
I
to
don't.
very much what she was saying because of other things happening on the camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think, hey,
I don't.
I just think decent message, completely wrong messenger.
Well, not even wrong messenger. It's like you have a certain brand. That ain't it.
Yeah,
Commentary is not the brand.
yeah.
Nobody on this is my problem. Again, I'm gonna get in trouble for this. I know it. But I mean, this is the problem with those halftime reporters in the NFL. It's like you're not it. You know, you don't even know what you're saying right now. Like I don't want to listen to you.
She might know what she's saying, but the problem is she has created her niche.
Yes, but my point is,
And her niche is not
my
commentary.
point about the halftime reporters is the same thing. Is you are there to look good, and that is about it. You could be saying nonsense, and they'd still wouldn't fire you. That's just the way it is. You're there to look pretty, and you know what? That ain't fair. But I didn't create this world, Zach. I didn't create it.
But also,
that's just the world we find ourselves in.
Also, my thing on Paige specifically is
Sure.
she's created her niche in this market, in the market of golf. She decided to make herself what she is.
Sure.
Okay? No one made that decision for her. She decided this is the way that she wanted to make money in the space that is golf.
See, that's a fair statement. And some of those halftime reporters did want to be reporters, you know. So
Yeah.
like they didn't want to just be models. There are their fair share that started out as models and became
And you know what? My opinion on it is if I don't have a problem with Paige making money that way. I really don't. I don't care.
Mhm.
The problem is when you want me to listen to serious commentary from someone about pace of play, like that's not the person that needs to be making that message. Unless the idea is we're going to get a lot of eyeballs on this. It's like that. Yeah, that's all you're getting on.
Well, and not just that, but like, girl, wear something else. Like that's like if, for instance, can I just say, for instance, if I had washboard abs, which I don't, and
Same.
I don't have amazing
Same.
pecs either.
Also,
If I had
I'm
those
ugly.
things, it wouldn't be appropriate for me to wear a very tight tank top onto the podcast that's about beer and golf. It just wouldn't be, it wouldn't fit the theme. It wouldn't fit just anything. It would take away from what we're doing here. It's kind of the same thing with Paige Spearneck. It's like, girl, you're on your couch right now. You're in your skibbies. Probably ain't the best time for you to do this whole serious talk about like slow
Pace of
play and
Yeah.
all that baloney.
But like if she would have worn like, I don't know, something less skin tight,
Yes.
it would have been a much easier video for me to be like, hey, there's a PGA Tour signed creator that's like doing something that is important
Sure.
to the PGA Tour. Like this is a good thing.
Sure.
But when you show up on my Twitter timeline showcasing yourself in a certain kind of way, let's say,
Sure.
it's hard for me to like be like nothing's gonna get this first reaction out of my head when it says like the thing is about slow play or whatever, and then this video of this person dressed this way pops up. I'm like, I kind of know what she's gonna say. I'm not gonna watch the video.
No. No,
I'm
I
just
watched
not
it.
gonna watch.
Zach, no joking, because I followed nuclear golf really closely, and it came up as one of the things on my feed. I watched it for all of 10 seconds, and then I just shut it out because it was one of those things where it's like, I've heard this argument. This is not it didn't add anything to the conversation at large.
No.
And you're exactly right. It's the messenger thing.
Well, it's like if you want a PGA Tour like signed creator to make this statement, and I don't know if she decided to do this on her own.
She decided to do it on her own. Come on,
and that's
Zach.
probably what happened. But like, it's the messenger. I don't think it's the message. It's the messenger, and it's like you have your niche, and it is what it is. And if you want to break out of that niche, there's certain like changes you're gonna have to make.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if I wanted to brand myself as like the super sophisticated sports broadcaster, I wouldn't come on here and drink beer and shit talk half of professional athletes.
Can I just make a point real quick?
Yeah.
We're already giving this too much of our thoughts.
That's true. I just wanted to bring it up because it was YouTube golf. I saw it last week. I wanted to hear your take on it.
Jack W's YouTube golf. He's not a deeply closeted. He's actually out of the closet with his YouTube golf love.
Absolutely.
He's out.
But also, it has to do with the culture surrounding golf. Listen, change is downstream from culture, so we're gonna cover when things change in the YouTube golf space. Events, let's say, change in the YouTube golf space. All right, Zane, what's next with TGL?
Next with TGL is gonna have to be. We got to talk about it.
There's a couple things to talk about.
It's so bad. So I'm going to pull this up real quick. Let me share my screen. This is just so bad. And I know people are going to be like, Zane, you covered this. This is from this past week.
Yep.
What the hell is going on?
Hello?
Look at this.
I will when you share your screen.
I did share my screen.
Not showing
shoot.
up.
Never mind. Why didn't you say something?
I was waiting for you to say something.
Oh, okay. You can't hear anything that I'm playing. Okay, ready? All right, here we go. So this is Tommy Fleetwood. So they're screaming, drop the hammer. He's 167 yards away.
It's a pretty stock yardage for Fleetwood. He's going to drop a 9-iron in there to 5 feet.
Look at this.
Dude, trust me, the technology's great.
They even got booed. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear
You
the
were hearing
boos.
boos from the crowd, yeah.
Go to the end of the video. I want to hear the boos. It's going to bring me life, dude.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah!
There's the boos. And so it's like you can't, we did this already, but you can't do that.
So the funniest thing ever is it picked up the divot instead of the ball.
Yes.
Which is why you don't use radar in conditions like this. That's why you use
Well, because
IR camera.
I bet they have it set to indoor.
Yeah.
because you
So when he
have
takes
to.
a big divot, like you would from 167 yards for these guys,
Yeah.
unless you're flushing it, of course, in your Tiger Woods. Unless you're flushing it.
Unless you're flushing it, like the podcast. Yeah.
Unless you're, it's
That's-
like,
This is just, I mean, this is just a joke. Like, that's a joke. No one wants to watch
okay, that first comment, I'm pulling it up, dude. That first comment, right there.
The things is, this is the best available. No, it's not.
No, it's not. Not for the conditions they're playing in. Not even close. It's not even the best radar. It's not even the best radar. And radar is not the best for the circumstances that they're playing in.
And it's not that it's one misread. Like, first off, in a thing like this, you can't have misreads.
Yeah.
Like, people don't realize that. This isn't one of those things where you can just have misreads.
Especially misreads that blatant.
Yeah, you can't do it. This isn't one of those things where as long as we get 99%. No. You need to get it 100% right.
Yes. So another thing is another thing is what was I saying a few weeks ago? It's like 3 weeks ago, so we might have forgotten it. But when I said that no betting company should touch this thing with a 10-foot pole with the technology they're currently using,
Sure.
that's why. That right there.
Well, you know
there.
they're already betting, right? You know they're already.
I know. I'm saying that's why if I was a betting company and I was a CEO of a betting company, I wouldn't touch that thing with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, because you can't. I mean, there's
It's too unreliable.
So unreliable. That's exactly right. They need to be able to accurately do betting lines.
Yes.
Yep.
It's why sports have lost betting in the past.
Yep.
It's because the betting lines are too inconsistent.
Yep.
And so people take them for all they're worth.
They'll lose money. Yep.
Yeah.
And you never want that. The house can't lose.
The house can't lose money.
That's the whole point of the house.
This was another terrible one.
Yeah, this was brutal. It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. This also happened, by the way.
This was hilarious.
This we don't know if. Obviously, we don't know if it was a misread, and I think it's just the tech. I think it's just the simulator.
It's the simulator.
So
but
this is
another reason.
This is another reason. This is Colin Morikawa hitting a drive. We can see that thing drawing. We've seen this hole before.
Oh, it's in the rough, I guess, on a
What?
90-degree slope.
Like that would never happen on TrackMan. That would never happen on a TrackMan.
No.
And I will say,
wouldn't
and
touch
I will
this thing
and I will
with
say,
a 10-foot pole.
if so it's the Grinch. So if here's the thing too is like with it's not. This is the problem with Tiger. This is the problem with Tiger, and it's not a character issue.
Well,
It's an issue of like his associations with different companies.
mm-hmm.
Is it needs to be his association with whatever company it is, whether it be Full Swing or whatever, rather than looking at even TrackMan. Like notice in the My Golf Spy video that we watched together last week.
Uh-huh.
In that video, notice the TrackMan was on there. It was top 5 in the view in the reading category because it's that good of a Doppler radar.
Yeah.
If you're gonna use Doppler radar, you use a TrackMan.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line, end of story. But even that one, he said that's not even top 5 on the table. On the table was also GC Quad and the Bushnell Pro, the Bushnell Launch Pro. You use any of those with this, and you already get better readings. On top of that, Foresight Sports, their simulator, and TrackMan Golf, the TrackMan Sports simulator, is significantly better than this.
Yeah. A ball does not stop on a 90-degree slope.
Never, ever.
And it's just, listen.
I'm
like, the tech part of this has always been an issue for me personally. Like, would it be better with any of those products? Yes. That's funny. I
This is
think I like
hilarious.
that tweet.
I love that tweet. I'm gonna like it.
I already
Better
did it. That's a
simulator,
funny
TGL
tweet.
or 2008 Wii. Because I don't think it would stop on a Wii.
No, it wouldn't. And it
I
would
don't think you would
piss me
stop
off
on a Wii.
every time.
Yeah. DC Warrior says this is why it's not fun to watch on TV, as nothing beats the real thing.
Yeah.
Fun to use it to practice, but not to watch on TV. I think it could be. I think if you had the right stuff. This is why from the very beginning, I thought it was a pretty decent idea. I did.
I never thought it was a good idea.
I know
It's
you
just-
didn't. We covered this. I know you didn't. I thought it was a decent idea because if you get the right technology, and let's be honest, the green is fucking cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool. That revolving green is the best part of
I've
TGL.
actually seen one of those in person and put it on one.
No, you haven't.
Not that big.
A putt view, but
Huh?
not that.
No,
You've
not
never-
a putt view. Not a putt view. A green that could revolve, change the undulation, all that stuff.
No, you haven't.
I swear to God.
Where?
It was here in Gainesville. I think I have the business card somewhere.
Baloney.
Coach. No, I swear to God. The guy that did it, he was partnered with another guy, but one of the guys was the head coach of Brunel University Golf 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was like 4 years ago. I swear on everything I love.
Well, I'm amazed you didn't take me there. You never even told me about this.
I
Thanks.
only went there one time.
Thanks, bud.
I
Appreciate
only
you.
went there one time.
Appreciate you. Yeah, you know how many times I went there? Thanks, bud.
I was invited there
Appreciate
by
you.
him,
Thanks
and he
for
wanted
that.
me to come take a look at it. And I was
Didn't
like, wow,
tell
this is
me.
awesome.
Didn't tell me. Didn't say, hey, by the way, my brother's a golf coach in Alpharetta. Do you mind if he comes?
Yeah, you weren't in Alpharetta at the time.
Oh. That's fair. So anyway, but yeah, I thought this was a cool idea. I thought this as a reaction to Live was stupid.
Yeah.
Because Live is real golf.
Yeah.
But this is an idea, 100%. I mean, this is an idea, such a good idea, but they are really ruining it. And it shows in the numbers. So let's go over this. This is a great hopscotch point here. So if you look at the ratings, for the viewership, TGL week 5 saw a decrease in viewership, averaging 544,000 viewers on ESPN. That's huge. Like, I understand that it's from the Rory and Tiger, but notice something here. Look at what it's lower than.
Week 3.
That means it's not growing, Zach.
It's not.
That means it's not growing.
It's actively shrinking.
See, again, unless we see one of these Rory and Tiger either beat these numbers, beat that week 4 number, or we see week 6 at least eclipse that. Who's next on the TGL? Let's find that out real quick. TGL schedule. I got it pulled up. I got it.
Okay.
So we got the. Oh, sweet. We got Atlanta Drive, and LA. So they're both undefeated so far. So we're going to be watching them play at 1 p.m. on Monday, February 17th. They've actually got a triple header. They're going to be playing 3 that day. It's going to be Atlanta Drive against LA. At 4, it's going to be Atlanta Drive against the Bay Golf Club. At 7, it's going to be the Bay Golf Club against Boston Common. So this is something where they're going to have to show a significant increase in those numbers to prove that this is.
Because that 544, that's abysmal numbers for primetime ESPN.
Well, look, we all know it's going to be a TW ratings drop, but look at this versus this.
I think it's important to look at week 2 versus week 4. And then when Tiger is not playing, how low those numbers are.
Well, look at, I mean, yeah. So take Tiger out. Let's just look at week 1. Almost
When
a
it
mil.
debuted.
Almost a mil. Week 3 dropped 25%. And then week 5 dropped
Down.
another 10% from week 3.
Yeah.
This better start going in the other direction. I have a sneaking suspicion with the shots that we're seeing, like this one. They even showed it again here. I have a sneaking suspicion that it won't.
Yeah. Well, like my golf spy said, I mean, they review this stuff for a living. I know we said this last week. When it's not even a
This is
top,
accurate. Sorry.
Go
This is
ahead.
at Brandon Marr 98698 said at TGL needs a reboot. Majority of the players have zero charisma and just introverted. It's understandable. To make this more exciting, need players comfortable doing this or YouTube personalities on each team.
That would be a way to do it.
That's what Zach said. Zach made that point last week, Brandon. So
yeah. I just don't. I don't. The draw of watching this is almost zero without Tiger.
yes.
And that is not a sustainable business model because he's on one team.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like even then, the draw of watching this with Tiger is going to decrease.
So I think you guys have it all. Again, you guys. I use this as a euphemism. I think the guys like you saying like, oh, there needs to be a YouTube personality on there, blah, blah, blah. I think that's actually wrong-headed. I don't think it's a problem having introverted personalities playing in a TGL thing. I don't. I think it's huge to do the theatrics beforehand, but personally, I don't want to hear Justin Thomas say, please hit it straight right before he's stepping up to his first tee drive. I just don't want to hear that. You know why I don't want to hear that? Because do you think he's saying that to himself at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am?
Oh, that was another thing. When people were talking about the defense for the simulator on that Tiger wedge shot was, oh, you can't forget about the adrenaline when he hit it 20 yards along the green in the water. Can't forget about the adrenaline. I was like, the adrenaline.
What
Tiger
adrenaline?
Woods.
Yeah, what adrenaline. That dude has cold. That dude has ice in his veins.
Can't forget about adrenaline. I watched this guy walk straight-faced 18 holes on the back nine of a major or 18 holes on Sunday in a major championship and not blink once. And I think he's nervous about a shot in a golf simulator.
No, not even nervous. Adrenaline.
Yeah, excited. I don't think he feels anything.
No.
I'm not even sure this guy's a human being.
No. Well, here's the thing too. There's no defending it. You saw Fitzpatrick, a lot of the questionable reads on his shots. He's looking at it like he's looking at it like all suspect and stuff.
Another thing with that is I saw people like, oh, PGA Tour players always react like this when they hit shots.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
They literally don't. They may react angrily, but they don't react suspiciously. The only time I've ever seen that is when Paul Casey hit that 5-iron.
Paul Casey shot we talked about.
That's the only time that I've ever seen a guy look at that like that. The only time. Yep. That's the only time I've
10
seen
yards
it.
long of where he wanted, or 20 yards long.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Zach. I think it just needs to be, again, you just make it more competitive. How do you do that? You put less of an emphasis on the players talking during the match. I want to see them, again, they can be jawing to each other without mics. That's fine. I don't think the mics add anything.
Well, I think it's important. You got to understand when to turn the mics off.
Yeah, that's great point there. For instance, whenever they've got the music blaring, how about you turn the music off when the play clock starts? When the shot clock starts, turn the music off. And then you know what happens is that heartbeat thing gets a lot more, obviously it's not going to scare those guys, but it gets a lot more entertaining to the people listening.
Yeah.
Well, it's not entertaining is just hearing loud music, hearing Eye of the Tiger, right? As they're getting set up to hit and while they're hitting.
Yeah.
That's not entertaining.
It's just it's just a thing.
I think there's a lot of things they're doing wrong.
There's a lot of things they're doing wrong. I think the mic stuff, like, I think it's interesting. I think it's relatively interesting to hear the players talk, but like I don't need to hear everything they say.
I have a
Like,
bold prediction.
What?
I bet that 1 p.m. Time doesn't top 300,000.
I was gonna say 250.
My guess is
but
going to be 250.
yeah, I was gonna say I was gonna say lower than 250 at 1 p.m. What
Yep.
day is it?
It's a Monday.
A Monday?
Monday at 1.
They're gonna be lucky to hit 125, dude.
No, they're going to get 250 max.
I don't think they do.
Well, we'll see.
Monday at 1 p.m., dude.
It's a triple header. We'll see what happens.
That's a terrible idea. Triple header for this thing is terrible.
If it got off to a better start, yeah. But this is this is embarrassing at this point. It is. It's just embarrassing. I feel secondhand embarrassment.
Feel secondhand embarrassment. There was another clip from TGL. If I can find it. Zane sent me like.
I'm deeply closeted confident in this whole business model. That's what I'm at. That's what
you're.
I'm deeply closeted confidence.
You're just gonna keep making that joke, aren't you?
Oh,
100%. Never gonna stop.
It's never gonna end.
Okay, so I have a tweet. I'm sharing my screen now. This is from Ryan Moog. This is again about those mics that we were talking.
This is what we're ending on, right?
Yeah.
Good idea. Yeah.
It's Rory and Morikawa talking about the golf ball.
So they're both TaylorMade guys.
They're both TaylorMade guys. This is
a TaylorMade ball.
TaylorMade ball. Rory says something along the lines of, "It's the retail version too. It's got a different dimple." And then looks like Colin quickly told Rory to shut his mouth. So the ball you buy in the shop is not what these guys play. We're gonna listen to the audio. I think it's basically what this guy said.
Turn it up. So I didn't see Colin say anything about like shut up.
I think he just said shh, shh. Is what I think he said.
I don't know. The issue is obviously it's probably a prototype. That's what it is. I think it's a prototype. Either that or it's a tour only model that is trying to mimic something that Titleist does with their ball that those guys like, and thus they can't release it to the public. Otherwise, it would be considered, a trade or a copyright
product,
trademark infringement. Or a patent infringement. So that's what I think it is. Bottom line. And I don't see a problem with it. I mean, is this really that big of a deal to you?
Here's the thing. I don't think the problem with this is it would not be an issue if ball manufacturers were open about this secret. Does that make sense?
It doesn't take very much digging to find out that they do this.
I'm not saying it takes very much digging, but if you're telling consumers that you want to play the ball that Rory McIlroy hits 360 yards, play the TP5 or the TP5X for low spin, and you're not actually playing the ball that Rory McIlroy hits 360 yards. Not that you could do that anyway, first off. But you're talking about the average golf consumer. To me, it's been like the worst kept secret in the world among people in the golf industry that these guys play different equipment than you will ever touch in your entire life.
Tiger did that with Nike forever. So
no, I know. But it was, again, the worst kept secret.
I think it was a better kept secret whenever Tiger was doing it.
I agree. But
I don't
like
think that-
them say,
Obviously,
this,
the 20XI
this coming
was
out
such a-
openly.
Everybody knows the 20XI, or the 20XI was
that ball,
literally just a Pro V1,
I did like the 20XI.
but it was literally just a Pro V1X. I'm not talking the one you bought. I'm talking the one Tiger played.
The one Tiger played was just a painted Titleist ball.
Yeah, and we know that. We know
Yeah.
we know he shipped in balls.
Yeah.
He had balls shipped in for him, so
Yeah.
we know that happened. So like this kind of stuff doesn't bother me. It doesn't move me.
It doesn't bother me personally, but
Zach just doesn't like liars.
absolutely, I don't
I
like
don't
liars.
like liars.
I don't like liars. I don't like false advertising.
I agree with you, but I don't think it's again. Show me the ad that says hit this ball just like Rory, and I know you probably find one, but like find that one. You know, find that TaylorMade commercial where he exactly says like, "This is my ball, I play."
I'm pretty sure I can find it pretty easily. TaylorMade Golf. John Rahm knows performance when he sees it. This is why he chooses to play the all-new TP5 golf ball from TaylorMade.
Oh, did he switch to TaylorMade?
No, this is 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
There's one ball that's better for all. The new TP5, TP5X from TaylorMade Golf.
He switched to TaylorMade? He was with Callaway 5 years ago.
No, he switched to Callaway after. He was at TaylorMade first.
He was at TaylorMade first. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. What was I about to say?
Ricky Fowler, School of Swagger, featuring the all-new TP5 and TP5X.
Yeah, featuring. I mean, but Zach, they're not explicitly telling you that they play the ball.
The quote literally on the ad is from TaylorMade. You know it's the ball, right?
Okay.
I'm just saying I don't like false
I'm
advertising.
not moved by this. I'm not moved by this.
It's fine if you're not moved by it.
It's probably the same construction. It's just a different dimple pattern, and they can't sell that dimple pattern because Titleist probably has a patent on that dimple pattern.
All right.
Same construction.
Zane's for
You're gonna feel the same feel. It's gonna fly differently.
Zane's for big golf corporations. That's what we learned here today.
Not at all.
Big fan of golf corporations.
Not at all. I think they suck.
Advertising.
Not at all. Okay.
Talk about now.
Just one last thing we're gonna end on. I think this is a good thing to end on. This is footage from Full Swing Season 3, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Oh, this is the thing we're covering last?
Yeah, I figured that'd be a good thing to cover last, right?
We're not going to talk about the Charlie Hoffman stuff?
Yeah, let's do that first. Okay, so let's do that first. Let's hurry it up. Let's hurry it along. So real quick, I'm going to share my screen. So here, let's read what he wrote first.
Okay.
And then let's go into what Rory's response was that whole video. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with the article.
Okay.
So Charlie Hoffman this is from Golf Magazines, from some golf.com. So Charlie Hoffman didn't pull any punches when he sent a letter to the PGA Tour members on Sunday night to address the rampant slow play issues, criticize Aon Swing 5 pathway into signature events. We've talked about that in the past. And take top players to task for how they are managing their schedules. Quote, here's something else to think about, end quote. Hoffman wrote, quote, if we really truly care about strengthening our tour, we should be supporting as many PGA Tour events as we can. Many of you keep saying you want to play fewer events, yet you still find time for TGL, Race to Dubai, and other non-PGA Tour events. And that's going to continue regardless of the field size. This is true.
Yep.
The best competition happens when the best players go head-to-head in a deep competitive field. What have we been saying?
Yeah.
He's preaching to the choir here. Not in small limited entry events that leave deserving players on the outside looking in. This tour was built on open competition, very true, which obviously Gary Players talked about. We talked about that on the show, where anyone with the game to compete has a chance to prove it against the best. That's what has made our tour special for generations, and we need to keep pushing for that. End quote. It says also right here, while Hoffman didn't directly say whom he had an issue with, there are 24 players who are participating in TGL, and roughly 10 of them, including co-founder Rory McIlroy, spend time playing on the DP World Tour as well, which obviously nobody has a problem with. I don't even think he's saying he has a problem with that, by the way. Of those 10, only Rory has been openly talking about playing fewer events while also playing in non-tour events like TGL and the Showdown. On Tuesday, Hoffman went on Golf Channel to discuss his letter. He said he received positive so far, but has not heard from any of the PGA Tour star players. Quote, it has been positive. Now I haven't heard from the top players. I did sort of call out the top players about playing other venues and other things. I'm not saying don't do that. Again, reinforcing my point. But there's a lot of great PGA Tour events and great sponsors that run events that would love to have the top players play on more a regular basis. Everybody gets tired out here, but it's our job to sort of support the brand, support our product, and just play as many tournaments as we can. Also, obviously, the more competition, more storylines, more players in the field, the better. Zach, what's wrong about what he just said?
There's absolutely nothing wrong with anything he said. He's 100% right. If you are going to say that I'm a big supporter of this tour, right? Like, I'm PGA Tour guy. Like, let's go PGA Tour. But then you want fewer events, or you're not going to play in as many events, or you want less people in those events, and blah, 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 blah. If that's all the case, you're actively working against this product that you're saying that you support.
100%.
If you're saying you want fewer events,
and just remember, can we just remember this? The PGA Tour has done everything to support Rory McIlroy. They gave him the Whoop. The Whoop partnership was from the PGA Tour. We covered that.
Yeah.
And who knows what other opportunities he's gotten because of funneling from the PGA Tour, which seems like a conflict of interest to me. Regardless, it happened. It's done. It's over with. So here's Rory's response to this. War of words. Rory claps back to Charlie Hoffman's heated letter toward PGA Tour membership. Again, Zach, did that sound heated to you?
I think it was just. I think it was.
Sincere.
Yes. I don't think it was heated. I think he was saying, listen, you guys are making all this lip service toward this product that you say that you support, and then you're actively working against this product and advocating for things that actively work against the value of the product. If you are not going to play in as many PGA Tour events, talking about the top players, if you're not playing in as many PGA Tour events, the product is worse.
Yes.
So you're taking the value of a PGA Tour event and you're lowering it by not being there.
Yep.
You're going to play in fewer events. Okay, if you want to play in fewer events, that's fine. Oh, but you're going to go to other places to play events, which is helping out them, but not us.
Yep.
That I think is the major thing that Charlie Hoffman, basically all he is pointing out hypocrisy.
Yep.
Like, don't say you support the PGA Tour and you want to play fewer events when you don't actually want to play fewer events. You just want to play events on your own terms.
That's exactly right. Yep. And I thought it was a very fair statement. Yeah. And again, he doesn't specifically call out Rory.
No.
I don't even think that's intentional. It's very much seems like to me he's just calling out the guys who don't want to play a lot, who want to just play in other events too, other bigger events, say across seas and stuff like that, and not play in PGA Tour events. That's what it sounds like to me. I think obviously people read into that and they think Rory, and this is why he gets asked.
Well, I think he is a prime example of this.
100%. But here's Rory.
I think he didn't name Rory strategically, because if he names Rory, it sounds like he's attacking Rory. instead of attacking a very large group of guys.
Zach, understood. So here's what Rory had to say on the subject.
There was a letter made public today from a fellow player who kind of had some criticisms for guys with exterior commitments, including TGL. Curious if playing in these matches has in any way altered your normal PGA Tour schedule or routine.
I mean, I think the thing he forgot to mention is the PGA Tour owns 20% of TGL. So, like, he's criticizing his own.
Pause. Zach,
So they don't own
is
80.
Charlie Hoffman playing on TGL right now?
I would say no.
What about a vast majority of the PGA Tour membership? Are they playing on TGL right now?
Probably not, because there's 125 members and there's 24 guys.
Oh my god!
One of which I don't even think is on the PGA Tour anymore.
And is it the top 24 guys?
No, it's not. We went over
Oh my god! It's not the top players. So it's almost like it's a group of guys that kind of all just want to, you know, help each other out.
Yeah.
Regardless of merit. Anyway, let's keep going.
Product. They also own a good chunk of European Tour Productions. So again,
also pause. How is that going to help guys like Charlie Hoffman?
Yeah. And
how is that going to how is that going to help guys that are, you know, like Ross Steelman or Ross Steelman out here at Georgia, who used to play for Georgia Tech? How's that going to help the Schneider Jans boys?
How's that going to help my boy Lanto?
How's that going to help Lanto? How's that going to help Maverick McNeely?
Yeah.
How's that going to help any of those guys? How's it going to help Vince Whaley? What's that going to do for him?
Yeah. It doesn't do anything for other PGA Tour members.
You're talking, well, and he's talking about these large organizations benefiting, not the players of the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
What? What?
Yeah. Also with his 20% thing. So who owns the other 80%, Rory? I'm just curious.
Yeah, just curious. 20 isn't a majority stake, my man.
It's not even close.
We're about 20. We're about 30% short.
You could double their stake and they still wouldn't be a majority.
We're at 31% short of the majority stake, bud. Anyway, keep going.
You know, I thought some of the
That's a long, awkward pause. Anyway.
elements of the letter were fine, addressed some issues. He was criticizing the Aeon Swing 5. He was sixth in that. So, like, you know, he talks about having it be for the good of the tour, but he's also talking about himself as well. So I thought a couple of them were pointed at me a little bit because TGL, Race to Dubai, you know, non-PGA Tour events.
And see, I think that's a little guilt talking because there's a ton of guys. There's a ton of guys that do that.
It applies to Colin Morikawa.
Matt Fitzpatrick, Colin Morikawa. Who else was doing the Race to Dubai? There's a lot of Americans that do it. It's not just the European guys that do it.
Yeah.
So I think this is a little bit of a guilty conscience going on.
It's like the showdown that Scotty and I did in December. I've been vocal about not wanting to play quite as much. Like it seemed like it was pointed at me. And
again, is that valid, Rory?
Yeah, I don't want to play quite as much unless I'm directly benefiting.
Is that valid?
Yeah.
I just like, how do you not hear yourself at this moment and go, "Oh man, I am a piece of shit." Yeah. How do you not listen to yourself and go, "Oh shit, man, guys,
shit, he's right."
Yeah, this guy's hit it the nail on the head.
Damn, he's got me pinned, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess all the look,
a lot of awkward pauses.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think he is doing that in his head. He's like, no, you're a good person.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're not wrong. You're right.
Yeah, you're so right.
You're Rory fucking McIlroy. You're the man.
You can't do anything wrong. You're the best.
You're good. You're good.
Look at Adam Scott's face.
Yeah.
He's like, ooh, he's got him good.
That's the better one. Ooh, it's not looking good for Rory here. Not looking good. He looks like Andy Reid.
By
After
the
they
way,
did-
when did Keegan Bradley decided he was going full Ron Swanson?
he looks like Andy Reid over there after the Chiefs failed to convert a 4th down.
And then the flag comes out. That's another podcast.
Yeah, that's a different pod. That's a different pod.
podcast.
All right.
You know, I guess
lot of-
what every player has to do is look out for themselves. You know, we
So I think Rory, that was part of the problem. I think that was what Charlie was talking about. It's about how you guys are only looking out for yourselves and not the tour as a whole.
Isn't this rich from the dude? So anti-live.
Yeah,
This is prime comedy right here.
dude.
Because
I don't think he knows what he's saying.
the people in this play right now are so unaware
Honestly,
of
Rory
what they're
should
saying.
go to live, and I'll tell you why. He's not winning another major anyway, so it's like, he's not really losing anything by losing OWGR points.
Yeah.
Because like his last like major championship was like what 12 years ago. Like
Well,
he's
and
about to run out of exemption.
Well, he's already got. Well, no, but he's already got exemption into most of those majors anyway.
Not
so,
the
like,
Masters.
he'd receive a special invite.
He probably would, but that would be funny.
It'd be pretty funny.
If he ends
Anyway,
his career on live and doesn't win a Masters, oh my
That'd-
god, I would
it'd be
cry.
wild. I am waiting for the moment where I thought it was gonna. Honestly, I thought it happened a little sooner. I tried calling it. I thought he was gonna join like after this past season was over. That didn't happen. But I really thought it was moving in that direction because you remember all the lip service he was changing his tune there at the end of last season, you know, in like late fall. You remember that? Like he
Yeah.
was changing.
I
his
never
tune
thought he
and
was
all these-
going to live. I just thought he wanted them all to come together. And I think
Yeah.
maybe part of it, and this is my tinfoil hat theory. I think maybe part of it is he wanted a couple of those guys to have TGL teams. Because
Maybe.
I don't know if Rory does anything not self-interested.
I don't know if he does either. And again, all power. This is the problem, Zach. All power to you, but you got to be honest with me.
But yes, don't be
If you're
high
all
and
about,
mighty.
if you're all about yourself,
Don't get on your high horse.
nobody's. Again, this is the whole Pat McAfee thing. Go get your bag.
Yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly, but don't do this whole thing where you pretend or you hurt other people along the way and then try to take the moral high ground and say like, they're so wrong over there for doing what they did. Oh, but me, I'm just looking out for myself.
Yeah.
I'm just looking out for myself. No, you don't understand. They were hurting 9/11 families. I'm just looking out for myself. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
we have to do what's best for our own individual careers. And yes, you know,
Yikes.
at the back of our mind, try to do whatever we can to help the tour. But I think the best way for any of us to
Wait, what did you just say?
In the back of your mind, do whatever you can. After you're taken care of, do whatever is best to do.
Yeah.
help the tour is to tee it up and play as best we can.
And show up to events.
How is
might
that
help as
not?
well.
How is that not the same as what Charlie just said?
Yeah.
Literally,
Charlie
what
is saying
said.
tee it up and play the best you can on the PGA Tour.
Yeah. And again, even he clarified in those interviews, all he was saying is that okay, that's fine. You want to play Dubai, you want to play those other events, that's great. But you're actively promoting like playing less golf here and just playing these signature events,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not helping. That's not helping the situation.
Yeah.
That's all he's saying.
And that's so like, and this is one of those situations where the worst part of it is the hypocrisy.
Yep.
Because you can't say, oh, we need smaller fields. Oh, we need less events. Like, I'm playing too much golf. We need smaller fields, less events. Like, it's just too much. But then, like, you fill out the rest of your schedule with other stuff instead of playing on the PGA Tour. So it makes it seem like, oh, it's not that you really think that the product would be better. You just think you could make more money elsewhere.
Yep.
So
Anyway, last thing we're going to share. That was a great segment. Last thing we're going to share is just the slow play. The LPGA is
Spearneck
finally,
Paige Spearneck video?
No, the LPGA is taking a stand on slow play by introducing stiffer penalties to players. So what is staying the same? They're still going to use the same warning system they had. They're still going to use the banking of time on a given hole, excessive shot timing, target timing, fines doubling the following year. So that's all staying the same. What's changing? 1 to 5 seconds over time is going to be fined. 6 to 15 seconds over time is going to result in a 1-stroke penalty. And then 16 seconds or more will result in a 2-stroke penalty. The 10 seconds allowance changes. First to hit on par 4s and 5s will no longer receive additional 10 seconds, except on reachable par 4s. First to hit on par 3s and approach shots and putts will still receive an extra 10 seconds, the extra 10 seconds. Under the previous policy in 2024, 22 athletes received a fine and 9 received a 2-stroke penalty. If this new policy had been in place last season, 23 players would have received a 1-stroke penalty. 8 would have received a 2-stroke penalty. We believe that this is a meaningful step in addressing this challenge and will continue evaluating the additional solutions as needed. With that said, our intention with these adjustments is to improve the pace of play, not to impose penalties and fines. These changes will take effect March 27th at the Ford Championship presented by Wild Horse Pass. Zach, what are we?
I still think my idea is better.
Remind me what your idea is.
The disc golf model.
That's fine. I think this again. I don't
have a problem with this. I just think my idea is better.
I don't even necessarily agree with this, honestly. I think it should be more of a time between group situation, kind of like it is in junior golf. I think that's the easiest way of doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and again, just penalizing the entire group.
I mean, that's what I said last week, and then I said another way to do it would be the disc golf way, and it's
sure.
You don't want to penalize the entire group. A group can agree that one person is slowing the group down,
and maybe that's what you do, right? You have two guys vote the one guy, and they're like, "Hey, you took all this time."
Yeah,
so
I just think that like that because it takes all the pressure, or it puts the pressure on everyone in the group to make sure that you speed up play. And if you're getting frustrated with a person in your group about how slow they're playing, you say, "Hey, man, I'm going to let you know right now, if you don't pick it up, I'm going to call you for time." Okay? And then you get the other person is probably also frustrated that they're taking forever to play. And they're going to be like, "Yeah, I think that's the next step here."
Yep. Anyway, so that's all we've got for Beerly Out of Bounds. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hit that link in the description below if you're in need of golf equipment, specifically more like purchasing pre-owned golf equipment there. Saving yourself a little bit of moolah. And
money's tight.
Yeah, that's right. And then also, if you could like, comment, subscribe. We really want to actively hang out with you guys. Grab a beer, tell us what you're drinking on the pod, and join us next week at 9 p.m. on Wednesday. We're here every week at that time.